Hi, my name is Tenny-Brittian, and I get to be your instructor for this session of spiritual development with the Center for Ministry and Lay Training at Phillips Theological Seminary. What a great course it's going to be because you're in it, right? And it always has been a great course. It's one of my favorites. If you've had me before, you've heard me say that. If you have more courses with me, you'll hear me say that. I am so fortunate to get to teach and to share, to facilitate conversations and experiences around topics that are near and dear to my heart. I will tell you, spiritual development is one of these basics for me. I was raised from the time I was 4 years old till I was 10 in a church home. My parents were very, very active in our local congregation. And then my mother died and my father said there's no way there could be a God. And he became a functional atheist. He yanked us out of church when I was 13. By the time I was 13, I knew I was called to be a minister. And I was told, you're a girl and you don't go to church, you can't be a minister. And it took a lot of wandering and another 9 or 10 years before, well, actually, it took 12 years before I made my profession of faith, that I made my way through the guidance, the overwhelming banging upside my head of the Holy Spirit to find myself in church on a Sunday morning. I spent quite a number of years wondering, how is it that you can be so dedicated to a church that you can lose your faith, that you can step out of the church, that you can give up on God. And what I realized is that people have a relationship with the church, not with God. And that's what spiritual development is all about. This course is designed so that you will get to experience spiritual practices, that you'll be able to reflect on spiritual development in your own life, as well as in the life of the congregation where you may serve in a leadership capacity, perhaps as pastor, perhaps in an unpaid, i.e., volunteer position, or where you're just, wanting to something more than what you're getting in ordinary church, where there's something within you that's yearning, that's urging you to step out and find more about faith, or as I say, spiritual development, developing spiritual practices, which is what we're going to be doing through the Hope to Habits, from Hope to Habits study. Make sure you get that workbook. You can get it on Amazon, and you have to have it because we walk through it. You'll have videos each week that are the sessions. So since we're not together to go to experience those small group sessions together, we will be together through those videos. So I'll post the videos, but you have to have the workbook so that you can participate. And the discussions will go on in our discussion forums each week. Two other books while I'm here, I'll say a word about that. You need to get Prayer for People Who Can't Sit Still. Yes, the Reverend Dr. Bill Tenny-Brittian is my husband, and he wrote that. It looks like an older book, but it is definitely not out of date. And as far as I know, it is the first of books that was written for people with ADHD, people that are on the spectrum in some way, that they're able to look at, consider, learn spiritual practices that can work for them. It comes because he has ADHD and I am a contemplative, and he long thought that he could never have any kind of a spiritual life or develop a deeper spirituality because he could not sit still. And I'll let you read for yourself in the book how that came about, to how he found that was not the case, how it didn't have to be the case, and not just for himself, but through the hundreds and thousands actually of people who've read the book, they too have discovered that. So parts of the workbook of the From Hope to Habit study are, you need that book so you can refer to it for more information, for more, well, you'll see it's on the syllabus if you haven't looked at that already. Another book, I'm going to provide the PDF for that. That is another one of his books called High Voltage Spirituality. It is out of print. It was published after From Hope, it was yes, published after for Prayer for People Who Can't Sit Still. It is my favorite of all of the books that he has written. It is why it's my favorite really is the appendices. Throughout, he talks about different practices, different habits that you can develop. And in the back are these precious, priceless appendices that have information like, if you have a lot of time, but you don't have time to plan, then these are practices that may work for you. If you are able to get away for any amount of time, this is a practice that may work for you. So you're able to look at this grid and say, okay, I don't have much time. I have some time though to plan, and I can get some materials. Then you're able to choose what kind of a practice you might be able to engage in that place and that time, or in the time that you have coming up. That's why I love my From Hope to Habits, because it's meant to be personalized to your life. You'll choose exercises, spiritual practices, something to practice every single week, and in so doing, you are able to choose what works for you and your busy lifestyle. Last word I have about the books, that is James Fowler's Stages of Faith. It's an even older book, 1981. And why do you have to read it? Because you need it on your bookshelf. Or in your Kindle library. You need to have that book. James Fowler was a professor at Emory School, or at Emory University. That's my alma mater, Candler School of Theology, their Candler School of Theology. And he approached looking at faith from both a religious and theological viewpoint, but also a psychological viewpoint. And he relied on developmental theories. So some of you may be familiar with names like Piaget, Kohlberg. I'll just leave it with those two for now. And by Erickson is the third one. And he draws on their stages of development, human development, and then is able to take that, look at those, and apply them to spiritual development, faith development. It's an amazing work. I'm going to warn you, it's a tough read for some of us. And students seem to love it or to hate it. There doesn't seem to be a lot of middle ground. There are questions about why we have to read it. Well, we have to read it because we built these courses, our courses, on the 16 practices, skills and practices that are identified by the Christian Church Disciples of Christ and are recognized and observed and expected in other mainline denominations. And so for spiritual development, you need to know Fowler, because all the work that's been done in faith development comes out of Fowler's work. I guarantee you, he's going to be one of our bases. You need to read. You need to be working with, integrating him to the best of your ability. Just try. That's what I'm asking. Try your best. And that will be a part of your final assignment. You're going to have facility with that, if you will. But also then we're going to look at other aspects, not just of Fowler, but other people who have worked with faith development. All right. I guarantee you at the end of this course, you're going to get to have some spiritual experiences that I'm going to trust you're going to end this course as a different person. Just bear with me. I also develop everything to be relevant and practical. You're going to get materials that are much newer than what your textbooks are. My Bill is my husband. I call him My Bill. He and I are, we own Net Results Magazine, and he is the managing partner for the Effective Church Group. So we are walking and talking and in constant, consistent conversation with faith leaders and spiritual directors and coaches and consultants to ministers and churches literally around the world. And so I can guarantee you we're going to keep you up to date with what's out there, what's going on. And quite honestly, any book that comes out is at least a year. If it's out through a major publishing house, that book was written at least a year earlier. So it's already out of date by the time that it's offered. And we prefer not to have you buy up all kinds of books when we can rely on the newer information, both that which we're gaining from our contemporaries and colleagues, but also from what you are going to find on the internet. Okay, not everything's great on the internet. We have to be discerning about all of that, but be surprised, be amazed, be curious. All right, that's all I have for you. I am going to see you at that syllabus overview in our Zoom room, not required, but made as an opportunity. And we'll look forward to conversing with you up there on the discussion forums. You can call me anytime you need anything. Tell me if I can't respond, tell me the best times to reach you. Right now, it's better that you call me rather than email me, and please never text because I just don't do texts. All right, that's all. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye-bye.